13-year-old Elias had a profound dislike for June. Not because of the weather. He loved long summer evenings. He hated it for one specific Sunday, Father's Day. At school, the weeks prior were an epidemic of secretive crafts smelling of wet macaroni and bragging about new barbecue sets for dads. And then there was the annual sports day, where he participated with his mother. She was amazing, sporty, and faster than most fathers there. They laughed and tried their best. Yet, for Elias, it felt like a bright spotlight aimed at them. A silent, painful reminder of the empty spot at the breakfast table and the empty hook in the hallway. Elias's father was no movie monster. He was just not there. A weekend dad who often forgot weekends. A voice on the phone with warm promises that turned into cold, vague memories once hung up. Elias recognized the tone, just a bit too cheerful, too fast. The sound of a lie started before the sentence finished. It was an exhausting cycle of hoping against better judgment, and eventually silently unpacking the bag standing ready in the hallway. On a Tuesday afternoon, Elias discovered a viral video. A cheerful, tight electronic beat, but the voice singing over it sounded desperately French. Dites-moi d'où il vient. Enfin je saurai où je vais. It was Stromae with Papaoutai. Dad, where are you? He looked up the translation. Everyone knows how to make babies, but no one knows how to be a father, hit like a sledgehammer. Elias watched the video. He saw Stromae, stiff as a mannequin with a frozen plastic smile, while a small boy desperately sought contact. The father stared rigidly ahead. Physically present, but emotionally unreachable. It was painfully familiar. Elias's own father was exactly like that. On the rare occasions he was there, he constantly looked at his phone. He was a shell of a father, without substance. That night, Elias couldn't sleep. He didn't want to be pitted at the upcoming talent show. He wanted people to understand. He wanted them to feel what he felt. In the shed, Elias found what he looked for, an old, armless mannequin his mother once used. It had just the right chilly, empty look. He dragged it to his room and locked himself in for 3 days. He put Papaoutai on repeat. He studied Stromae's movements, the stiff shoulders, the empty gaze, the mechanical dancing. He practiced turning frustration into tight, controlled movements. His muscles protested, but he continued until sweat stood on his forehead. He wanted every movement perfect, a physical pantomime of his own broken heart. When his mother saw the dressed-up mannequin, she startled. "Elias, what are you doing? That thing is creepy." "This is my act for the talent show," Elias said. "It is the truth, Mom." Sports day was warm and noisy. After various cheerful acts, it was Elias's turn. It became quiet when he dragged the mannequin onto stage and set it roughly on a stool. The audience giggled uneasily. Elias stood next to it, stiffly dressed in a suit, and nodded to the sound technician. He felt the gaze of 100 people burning on his back. The smell of the gymnasium mixed with his nerves. But as the music started, the world fell away. The cheerful beat of Papaoutai blasted through the hall. It didn't match the somber image at all. Elias started to move. Jerky. Mechanical. He turned his head with a jerk towards the mannequin. He reached out to be lifted up, a childlike gesture, but his hand froze painfully halfway. He lip-synced the words with an intensity that made the hall deathly quiet. "Otes. Papa, Otes." He danced around the mannequin, pleading with his eyes, body stiff. It was a dance of someone trying to extract love from a statue. He pushed the mannequin's shoulder. The thing wobbled lifelessly. Elias caught it and put it back hard on the stool. The sound of hard plastic on wood echoed mercilessly, a sound of pure frustration. The cheerful music made the image more poignant, the musical equivalent of crying at a party while pretending to laugh. The giggling stopped completely. Parents sat upright, uneasy glances making way for concentrated attention. They didn't see a nice act. They saw the raw pain of a boy waiting 13 years for an answer that never came. The song ended with a final whisper, "Oh, Tess." Elias froze, one hand reaching for the plastic doll, the other empty by his side. It remained deathly quiet for seconds. A respectful, heavy silence of recognition. Then the janitor in the back started clapping, a man everyone knew never saw his own children. Then Elias's mother started clapping, hard, tears running down her cheeks. And then the whole hall erupted in applause that felt louder and more real than before. Elias looked at the mannequin. Still the same plastic, empty smile. Nothing changed. His father wouldn't suddenly be there tomorrow. But walking off stage, dragging the mannequin, he felt lighter. He hadn't solved it, but he had said it. That evening, his mother said softly, "You were brave. Stromae would be proud." Her arm around his shoulder said enough. "I am here." Elias smiled. He opened the video again and read thousands of comments from all over the world. "This is my story. I see you." Elias was still angry and sad. But as the familiar beat of Papaoutai sounded again, he realized something important. His father might not be there, but in that feeling of loss, he was far from alone.